Meanwhile, stakeholders of education in the Cape Coast metropolis have been meeting to fashion out ways to improve educational outcomes in the city. The educational DEBA will afford parents, teachers, academics, and all those who matter in education in Cape Coast to think about solutions to improve the performances of the schools and the students in Cape Coast. Addressing the DEBA Cape Coast Metropolitan Director of Education, Dr. Brenda Asari, indicated heads of the various schools have signed performance contracts and they should be supported to deliver their obligations and that contract.
The stakeholders say they want to do what will help shore up the educational outcomes in the metropolis, knowing very well that the Cape Coast metropolis has existed for a very long time. Cape Coast Metropolitan Director of Education, Dr. Brenda Asari at the DEBA, called for support for the heads of schools who have signed performance contracts so they will be able to discharge the obligations under the contract. Parents as major stakeholders to rise to the occasion.
You are signing it with your employer, so it means that if I do not perform, then maybe I have to go in for sanction, or maybe I have to be given some kind of remediation. And then you are saying that I want to be here. So at the end of the day, you will be assessed based on the performance, the contract that you have signed. It's like an agreement between two parties, and then you are saying that I want to do this. I have to get to this level. And the other party, a contract is signed between not for just one person, two parties. So the other will say, I also provide you with the things that you need so that you will be able to do what is expected of us.
A senior research fellow at the Institute for Educational Planning and Administration, Alfred Ampamensa, called for a conducive environment for the achievement of the educational outcomes by the provision of infrastructure.
Infrastructure, the data that was provided indicates that we don't have enough. We don't have enough at all. Because imagine, apart from the KG level, all the other indicators for primary, JHS, and then SHS for class sizes actually exceeded the nationally acceptable levels. And this indicates that we have overcrowded classrooms. They don't have enough classrooms. More, there are other facilities. Something that struck me had to do with the number of bunk beds that they need for the senior high schools. They don't have enough. Okay, if children, so I'm thinking in terms of, so if these children are supposed to be in the boarding house and they don't have enough beds, how do they sleep? Where do they sleep? So these are questions that...
The Director of Socio-Economic Development at the Archdiocese of Cape Coast, he indicated a lot needs to be done to improve the fortunes of education to benefit the indigents of Cape Coast.
Basically, Cape Coast, you have all these schools, but nothing is growing up. And how many of even the indigents in Cape Coast benefit from some of these schools? So it was mentioned that teachers apply to come and teach here only to better their level, get masters or MPhil or PhD, and then they exit. So it has become a hatchland where get better SHS results and they move out. A hatchland where teachers better their certificates and they move out. And so the effect on the indigents, those who live here, are not seen. And so if you like, go to the typical coast areas. Education level is very low.
The stakeholders pledged their support to contribute their quota to ensure that performances of schools and students in the metropolis improve. Reporting for JoyNews, Richard Kojenya Akon, Cape Coast.